Welcome to lecture 2 of Vad, Prativad and Samvad series. I'm Deepak Prakash. In last lecture, if you remember correctly, you would remember that I talked about two important quotation. One was Karmanne Badhikaraste Ma Phaleshu Kadachan, chapter 2 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And second was, let not thy winged days be spent in vain. Once it is gone, no gold can ever buy it. I'm talking about both of these quotation because in UPSC preparation, real thing is our duty. Our duty is worship. Our karma is most important thing. Our time is precious. So, in this particular lecture, I'm just going to tell you about few very important things. Here the focus would be on type of majorities in Indian Parliament. But before that, I would ask you to go through the previous year question paper. Again, this year prelims paper. You have already seen in 2023 prelims paper. It was a trendsetter. It was a game changer. Why I'm calling so? Because this year the UPSC has changed its pattern. So now questions are very comprehensive. They are asking you to do minute analysis. Read between the lines. अगर आप line पढ़ रहे हो, so you need to understand what exactly it implies in addition to what exactly it is telling. So start reading between the lines. Start focusing on your core competency. UPSC is testing your core competency. They don't want someone who is expert in रट्टाफिकेशन, रट के गया. They are not going ever to crack prelims. Prelims require you to focus on minute analysis. छोटे छोटे चीजों को observe करना है. Then only you can crack prelims. And for that, let me tell you, the most important thing is focus on basics. Basics are always important. This year, I have gone through prelims 2023 paper, and you won't believe 80 marks one could have easily gotten through focusing only on basics. So though there are many aspirants who are ruining, who are alleging that UPSC has become unpredictable, believe me, GS1 one could have easily solved. One could have easily scored 120 even if someone has not given too much attention to current affair. There was a balance between dynamic section and the static section. In polity, almost all the questions you could have done by focusing only on basics. So for basics, I have one formula for you. I call it 3R. Read basics, revise basics, and then retain basics. ये तीन चीज फॉलो करना है. Believe me, no one is going to stop you from cracking prelims. Prelims तो निकलना ही निकलना है. I'm talking about GS1, not about CSAT. I'm talking about GS1. कोई भी नहीं रोकेगा, आराम से प्री निकलेगा. Okay. So here again, in this lecture, I'm focusing on type of majority in parliamentary system. Again, it is a part of basics, and while in my preparatory phase, I have realized many of the aspirants, they were confused about type of majorities. और ये prelims के लिए it's a very salient topic, very significant topic, very important one. Prelims में यहाँ से काफ़ी बच्चे को फंसाया जा सकता है. And if you would have mastery over this chapter, believe me, अगर एक क्वेश्चन भी आया, you are having an advantage of 2 marks. और अगर एक क्वेश्चन गलत हो गया, यू आर हैविंग अ डिसएडवांटेज ऑफ 2.66 मार्क्स. 2 मार्क्स तो गया ही गया, प्लस 0.66 विच यू लॉस्ट ड्यू टू द नेगेटिव मार्किंग स्कीम ऑफ द यूपीएससी. सो फोकस ऑन बेसिक्स. सो कमिंग टू today's lesson. Today I'm going to discuss about type of majorities in Indian parliamentary system and also an important aspect of ethics topic. So today I'll also discuss about Jean-Paul Sartre. Many of the political science students and philosophy students might have heard about him, and that would also help you in ethics. So you all know how the parliamentary democracy functions. Two of the important bedrock of Parliamentary democracy are ruling party and opposition. So consensus is always desirable in a parliamentary democracy, but it is not achievable. ये तो अच्छा लगता है कि अगर सब लोग मिलकर जुलकर एक फैसला लेते हैं, that is always desirable, but in practice it never happens. Why? Because ruling party wants to maintain a status quo while opposition wants to replace it, and they want to get in the power. So there is always a competition for power. There are other reasons also. One reason is like there are differences between them in terms of ideology. Some are socialist, some are nationalist, some are communist. They also have different target social groups, different social programs. So our founding fathers were aware of it. So in order to avoid this stalemate in the parliamentary system, they have devised different types of majority. Now, founding fathers, our constitution makers, they were also aware of the gravity of different situation. All the situation cannot be equated. कुछ में ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट मेजोरिटी की जरूरत थी, कुछ में कम इंपॉर्टेंट मेजोरिटी की जरूरत थी, एंड अकॉर्डिंगली they have devised different type of majority: simple majority, absolute majority, effective majority, a special majority. For the further sake of clarification, I have divided a special majority into 4 kinds, which I will be discussing in the subsequent stages. But at the outset, let me tell you 2 important things. दोनों चीजों को दिमाग में रखना है. In our constitution, there is no explicit classification of majority. हमारे संविधान में कहीं explicit classification नहीं है. A careful reading of the Baer Act, एक बार अच्छे से Baer Act को पढ़ोगे, then only you would realize that how they are different and how they have been said in different articles, which I will be discussing in the later stages. Second thing, many of you might say it is just procedural thing, but believe me, this procedural thing is also very significant. ये सिर्फ प्रोसीजर की बात ही नहीं है. It's also about constitutionality and non-constitutionality. I can give you one example. We all are aware of 97th Constitutional Amendment Act. Due to one procedural error, Supreme Court struck it down partially in Rajendra Shah case versus Union of India in 2021. So, it is very significant from the perspective of constitutionalism itself. So, it is not just about procedure. So, let us start with the first topic. Absolute majority. Now, absolute majority depends on the total strength of the house. So, you all are aware that the current total strength of the Lok Sabha is 543. It was 545, but after 104th Constitutional Amendment Act, 2 Anglo-Indian seats have ceased to exist. So I have also one request for you. Those who are watching me, please go and do read about 104th Constitutional Amendment Act and find other details related to it and do write about it in my comment section. So absolute majority is determined on the basis of the total strength of the house. So that is 543. So the absolute majority would be 543 divided by 2 plus 1. So it would be around 272 would be the absolute majority. Absolute majority का कोई खास ज़्यादा यूजेज नहीं है other than 1 or 2 very important things. एक तो कोई political party when they win in elections, general election हुआ, political party win, so the most important party that has emerged, major party, say BJP or the Congress, who has gotten more than 272, they would be called to form the government, and this formation of government depends upon your absolute majority, कि आपने वो 272 का जादुई आंकड़ा पार किया है कि नहीं किया है, you along with coalition partner or you alone itself. So वहां पे absolute majority का ही importance है. Now second is effective majority. Effective majority is very important and very confusing also. Effective majority is not calculated on the basis of total strength of the house, rather total effective strength of the house. So say कि लोकसभा में तो अभी बताया, आई टोल्ड यू वन थिंग दैट टोटल स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ द हाउस इज 544, लेकिन अभी का इफेक्टिव स्ट्रेंथ इज से 23 members out of 543 are either dead or disqualified because of either under 10th schedule or some other sections. So they are disqualified from the Lok Sabha. So current effective strength is 520, let's suppose. So effective majority would be 261. 260 is the half plus 1. So effective majority is always measured on the basis of current strength of the house, and it is very useful. The most important use of the effective strength in the removal of vice president. In removal of vice president, you must have read it in Article 67 clause B. The term effective majority has not been used. The operative term in the constitution is the then majority of the house. It means कि the then majority of the house means constitution is asking of effective majority. तब राज्यसभा में अगर resolution आया in order to remove vice president, then effective majority would be used. राज्यसभा में अगर वाइस प्रेसिडेंट को हटाना है, राज्यसभा में एक रिजोल्यूशन आता है, देन इफेक्टिव मेजोरिटी. बट आर्टिकल 67B ऑल्सो एट द सेम टाइम सेज वन मोर थिंग, दैट रिजोल्यूशन नीड्स टू ऑल्सो बी पास्ड बाय द लोकसभा. बट कीप दैट वन थिंग इन माइंड, लोकसभा में एग्री टू बाय द लोकसभा, दैट इज द ऑपरेटिव टर्म यूज्ड बाय द लोकसभा और इन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. और जहां भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में ऐसा कुछ मेंशन है, अगर कुछ नहीं मेंशन है, इट मींस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज टॉकिंग अबाउट सिंपल मेजोरिटी. सो राज्यसभा में यू विल यूज इफेक्टिव मेजोरिटी, और तब वो रिजोल्यूशन जाता है कहां, लोकसभा में, वेयर इट वुड बी पास्ड यूजिंग सिंपल मेजोरिटी. आई थिंक दिस वन इज क्लियर. Then there are other example of it, like removal of a speaker and deputy speaker of Lok Sabha and the state legislative assemblies. Third type of majority is simple majority, which is also called functional majority or working majority. Now what is simple majority? Simple majority is calculated on the basis of current member present in the house. तो मान लो कि लोकसभा स्ट्रेंथ इज 543, बट ऑन अ पर्टिकुलर डेट ओनली 300 मेंबर्स केम टू अटेंड सेशन. उसमें से 50 मेंबर्स ऑन अ पर्टिकुलर बिल दे हैव डिसाइडेड टू रिफ्रेन फ्रॉम वोटिंग. द टर्म इज एब्सटेन फ्रॉम वोटिंग. सो द करंट member present in house is 250. So simple majority would be determined on the basis of those 250. So that is 50% plus 1. So 250 divided by 2, that is 125 member plus 1. 126 votes are required for simple majority on that particular day to pass that particular bill. Keep that in mind. Simple majority is most important, क्योंकि ज्यादातर चीजों में सिंपल मेजोरिटी का ही यूज होता है. इनफैक्ट इवन इन नॉन कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन, उस दिन जो प्रेजेंट हैं और जो उन्होंने वोट किया, सो नॉन कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन, टू पास नॉन कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन, ऑल्सो simple majority is required. One more thing, keep that in mind. Wherever constitution, again in effective majority part also I discussed the same thing. Again I am saying this, whenever constitution doesn't mention any type of majority, constitution is talking of simple majority. तो जहां भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने कुछ स्पेसिफिकली टर्म यूज नहीं किया है, जैसे उन्होंने 249 में दे हैव गिवन सेपरेटली डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ मेजोरिटी, 368 में अलग दिया है, 61 में अलग दिया है, बट जहां भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हैज नॉट मेड एनी स्पेसिफिक डिमांड और एनी स्पेसिफिक आर्गुमेंट, देयर सिंपल मेजोरिटी इज यूज्ड. लाइक देयर आर मल्टीपल यूजेस ऑफ इट. अभी मैं बता देता हूं कैसे. टू पास ऑर्डिनरी और मनी बिल और फिनेंशियल बिल, टू पास नॉन कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन, एडजर्नमेंट मोशन, सेंसर मोशन. आर्टिकल 67B ऑलरेडी आई डिस्कस्ड. रिमूवल ऑफ वाइस प्रेसिडेंट का जो मोशन रिजोल्यूशन है दैट नीड्स टू बी पास्ड फ्रॉम राज्यसभा बाय इफेक्टिव मेजोरिटी, लेकिन लोकसभा में यू नीड सिंपल मेजोरिटी. देन फिनेंशियल इमरजेंसी डिक्लेरेशन अंडर आर्टिकल 360. प्रेसिडेंट रूल वो 356, उसके लिए भी सिंपल मेजोरिटी ही चाहिए. जब इमरजेंसी व्हेन वी वुड डिस्कस अबाउट इमरजेंसी इन डिटेल, आई वुड टेल यू एवरीथिंग रिलेटेड टू इमरजेंसी कि कैसे किसमें सिंपल मेजोरिटी चाहिए, किसमें स्पेशल मेजोरिटी चाहिए, हाउ 44th कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट एक्ट हैज मेड टू मच डिफरेंसेस. लेकिन उसके पहले कीप दैट इन माइंड कि फिनेंशियल इमरजेंसी एंड प्रेसिडेंट रूल फॉर बोथ वी रिक्वायर सिंपल मेजोरिटी. ओके. देन इलेक्शन ऑफ अ स्पीकर, डिप्टी स्पीकर ऑफ लोकसभा एंड स्टेट लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली. देन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट बिल, ये भी ध्यान से रखना. अभी मैं जब आर्टिकल 368 पढ़ाऊंगा सो आई विल बी टेलिंग यू हाउ इट इज डिफरेंट, बट आर्टिकल 368 में दोज बिल दैट अफेक्ट द फेडरल प्रोविजन, वहां यह भी मेंशन है दैट नीड्स टू बी पास्ड एंड रेटिफाइड बाय 50 more than 50% of the state legislature. What does it mean? तो वहां पे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज टॉकिंग अबाउट सिंपल मेजोरिटी. एज आई टोल्ड यू, जहां भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हैज नॉट मेंशन्ड एनी टाइप ऑफ मेजोरिटी, दे आर टॉकिंग ऑफ सिंपल मेजोरिटी. उधर भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बोल रहा है टू यूज सिंपल मेजोरिटी. सो स्टेट लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली में कोई भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट बिल जाएगा विच इज अफेक्टिंग फेडरल प्रोविजन, तो उधर सिंपल मेजोरिटी. सो अभी 97th कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट एक्ट जिसको पार्शियली स्टक डाउन सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने किया, हैड इट बीन सेंट टू द स्टेट लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबलीज, सो स्टेट लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबलीज would have passed it using simple majority. Then the fourth type of majority is a special majority. A special majority are of four types. A special majority under article 249, a special majority as per article 368, a special majority as per article 368 requiring a state legislative assembly ratification, and the fourth is under article 61, impeachment of the president. और चारों अलग अलग हैं और ये चारों को कीप इन योर माइंड, इट्स वेरी कंफ्यूजिंग, अच्छे से समझना है. अगर समझ गए देन बिलीव मी यू आर गेटिंग टू इजिली गेन 2 marks. नहीं समझे क्वेश्चन, इफ क्वेश्चन वुड बी आस्क्ड फ्रॉम देयर, यू कैन इजिली लूज 2.66 marks. 2 marks हो गया, 0.66 योर निगेटिव मार्किंग ऑल्सो. सो कमिंग टू अ स्पेशल मेजोरिटी अंडर आर्टिकल 249. अभी इंडियन पॉलिटी, अभी जब मैं व्हेन आई वुड बी डिस्कसिंग यूनियन टेरिटरीज, यूनियन एंड इंडिया, सो देयर आई वुड बी डिस्कसिंग अबाउट फेडरल प्रोविजंस ऑल्सो. बट लेट मी टेल यू एट द वेरी आउटसेट दैट देर आर मेनी academicians who have called India as a quasi-federal. Many have called it even India as a federal sui generis. Many have called India as a unitary system because union has gotten more power. Even the distribution of list in 7th schedule shows that more powers have been assigned to union government. So Article 249 is also one such power to the union government. Now how? Article 249 allows the Rajya Sabha to pass a resolution to give power to the parliament to make law on a state list item to serve certain national interest. So under Article 249 राज्यसभा एक रिजोल्यूशन को पास कर सकती है नेशनल इंटरेस्ट को सर्व करने के लिए, विच इंपावर पार्लियामेंट टू मेक लॉज ऑन स्टेट लिस्ट आइटम. तो स्टेट लिस्ट आइटम के ऊपर लोकसभा पार्लियामेंट कैन इवन इंक्रोच, कैन मेक लॉज ऑन इट, और उस रिजोल्यूशन का वैलिडिटी वुड बी 1 year. सो इट कुड बी सब्सिक्वेंटली अगेन इनहैंस्ड. सो अभी 1 साल का अगेन द सेम रिजोल्यूशन कैन बी पास्ड बाय राज्यसभा. अगेन द एक्सटेंशन वुड बी फॉर 1 year. उसके बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे व्हेन वी वुड बी डिस्कसिंग अबाउट द फेडरल प्रोविजन और डिटेल से. बट हियर फॉर सेक ऑफ मेजोरिटी, अंडरस्टैंडिंग द मेजोरिटी, वहां पे राज्यसभा में इट नीड्स टू बी पास्ड बाय 2/3 मेंबर्स प्रेजेंट एंड वोटिंग. सो व्हाट डज इट मीन? सो ऑन अ पर्टिकुलर डेट इन राज्यसभा, out of total strength 200 members have come. So out of that it needs the support of 134 member. 2/3 majority is 134 members present and voting. That is a special majority under Article 249. Coming to a special majority under Article 368, it's very important. I would be discussing about Article 368 as a separate lesson. Article 368 is very significant from UPSC prelims perspective. Even from GS2 perspective also, we would be discussing it in a separate lesson altogether. So Article 368 में a special majority, it demands 2 conditions. First, 2/3 member present and voting. Plus, it needs to be supported by more than 50% of the total strength of the house present and voting. What does it mean? It means on a particular day, 400 members have come to attend the session of Lok Sabha. So, 2/3 member would be 267, but it also needs the support of 50% of the member of the total strength of the Lok Sabha. That is 272. Therefore, it needs to satisfy both condition. दोनों कंडीशन फुलफिल होना चाहिए. It needs to be supported by more than 50% of the total strength of the house and 2/3 members present and voting. So some of the important uses are like Constitution Amendment Bill which does not affect federalism, removal of judges of Supreme Court and High Court, removal of Chief Election Commissioner, removal of CAG, then approval of national emergency under Article 352. अभी मैंने बताया when we were discussing about simple majority, वहाँ I talked about that in case of president rule and financial emergency, simple majority is used, but for declaration of national emergency, what is used? A special majority under Article 368. Keep that in mind. 44th constitutional amendment आने के बाद things have changed, which I would be discussing in emergency chapter. Then resolution by a state legislative assembly for creation and abolition of legislative council in a state. So a state legislative assembly, whenever they are passing a resolution to create a legislative council or to abolish a legislative council, then it needs to be passed by a special majority under Article 368 in a state legislative assemblies. One more thing I want you to do, abhi do provide in my comment section about states having both legislative assembly and legislative council. How many states are there? और किनके किनके पास दोनों हैं, लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली एज वेल एज लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल. नेक्स्ट इज a special majority again under article 368, but it needs ratification of more than half of the states because it is affecting federal provision. Abhi maine, when I discussed about the procedural error thing in the very beginning, I told you that 97th Constitutional Amendment Act, partially it has been stuck down in Rajendra Shah case versus Union of India in 2021 by Supreme Court because it was encroaching upon a state list item. Cooperative is a part of a state list item, और cooperative के ऊपर within a state the central government was making a law, union was making a law, but it did not send that bill to the state for their passage and ratification by them. Therefore, Supreme Court stuck it down on that procedural ground and procedural error. So keep that in mind. Wherever any bill that affects federalism, say 7th schedule, or any union legislation that is trying to make a law on a state list item other than 249, that needs to be ratified by a state legislative assembly by simple majority. Important use, as I told you, that changes in 7th schedule, constitutional amendment bill which affects federalism like high court judges position, and then there is a special majority of fourth kind. ये सिर्फ एक ही जगह मेंशन है इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, दैट इज अंडर आर्टिकल 61. यू ऑल आर अवेयर ऑफ इट. impeachment of the president. In order to impeach president, our constitution makers have devised a separate majority altogether, that was 2/3 members of the total strength of the house supporting that resolution. So to remove president from his post, we require 2/3 members of the total strength of the house supporting that resolution. So to pass impeachment motion, we always need support of 362. So irrespective of whatever be the number in the Lok Sabha on that particular day. So say today impeachment motion is being passed against president. Impeachment resolution is being presented in the Lok Sabha. Today 400 members are present. Out of that, at any cost, it needs support of 362 members. So it doesn't matter whether how many members are present or not, but it always needs support of 2/3 members of the total strength of the house. और ये सिंगल जगह ही यूज होता है, और वो जगह है कहाँ? इम्पीचमेंट ऑफ द प्रेसिडेंट अंडर आर्टिकल 360, अंडर आर्टिकल 61. कीप दैट इन माइंड. एकदम दिमाग में इसको गांठ बांध के रख लो. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में एक ही जगह इस मेजोरिटी का यूज हो रहा है, दैट इज टू इम्पीच प्रेसिडेंट. डन. Coming to the second part, most of the political science students as well as philosophy students might have heard about him, and this is going to help even you in ethics. I'm talking about Jean-Paul Sartre. He belongs to existentialist school. He has inspired postmodernist school in 20th century. He has made an important significant contribution in terms of radical feminism, not directly but through his partner Simone de Beauvoir, who was also influenced by Jean-Paul Sartre. So we often hear of a famous statement, one is not born women, rather becomes women. So Jean-Paul Sartre, his methodology is phenomenology, and the most important statement of Jean-Paul Sartre was existence precedes essence. What does it mean? अभी समझना है core idea of existence precedes essence. So Sartre idea focuses upon existentialism, which challenges traditional philosophical belief that the essence is more fundamental. So Sartre actually challenged it. Sartre says what is more important is existence. He makes a distinction between good faith and bad faith. So what does it mean? Basically, he was talking of recognition of our own subjectivity. Our individuality should not be determined by the society, by the value which society assigned to us. Rather, our individuality should be the humanism. Why I use this quotation here? Because many of the UPSC aspirants need to understand one very important lesson from Sartre. UPSC is just a means to achieve what you want to become. Ultimately, your existence matters the most. You want to serve the society? Of course, that is one of the means, but that is not an end. You are the end. Create your own individuality, recognize your own strength. There are multiple ways of recognizing your strength. So just keep faith on yourself. You can make wonders. It is also significant for ethics. Keep that in mind. Now, since I have already discussed about type of majorities in Indian parliamentary system as well as about Sartre, in the next lecture I'll be discussing about Article 368 briefly. In the meanwhile, I would like you to suggest some contemporary topics which you think are relevant for UPSC prelims or mains examination. Please do write about it to me in the comment section, or you can follow me using the links given below. I'll be happy to assist you. Kindly also share and subscribe so that you do not miss any of the important lessons which I would be covering up. All the best. Good luck to all of you. Take care. Thank you.